Hi friends, Windy City Peach checking back in with another Instant Pot recipe for you. If you're new here, I am a Chicago lifestyle and food blogger here to make your life just a little bit easier. Today, I have a recipe I know you're going to love. It is cold here in Chicago, and I know if it's cold where you are, you want some comfort food. So, I have an Instant Pot vegetable soup. Yes, all vegetables, including the vegetable broth. It'll be made in the Instant Pot, so it'll be quick and easy. And as a bonus, I'm making a grilled cheese sandwich in the air fryer. Stay tuned. The ingredients for this recipe are pretty easy to follow. You're going to use your own particular vegetables, vegetable broth, garlic powder, onion powder, and olive oil to saute. Really, really easy. You're going to first set your Instant Pot to the saute function. At that point, you're going to add your olive oil and allow it to get a little hotter, and you'll see it once it starts to change form. First, I decided to saute the celery, onion, and green peppers. These are wonderful bases for most of the dishes that I make, and you'll notice that I usually like to saute them first. That is because the sauteing process brings out a lot of their natural flavor. So the Instant Pot was still on the saute function, and I took that time to allow these vegetables to get a little softer. Another thing is I used that time to also season them. So I added the garlic powder and the onion powder, and that again is just a part of the process in bringing out a lot of the natural flavoring, but adding a little oomph to it. Again, as you can see, I showed you the onion powder that I added, but I also added some black pepper. If you decide this would be a nice time to add any of your more spicy seasonings, a lot of times what I like to do is layer my flavors. So after I had sauteed the vegetables for a bit, I then took that time to add in the garlic. And I didn't add in the garlic at first because, again, I wanted to layer the flavors, but the garlic does not take as long to saute as the regular vegetables do. At that time, I started to stir all of the vegetables, and keeping on the saute function on the Instant Pot. So a lot of the flavors started to come together, and of course it started to steam a lot more, which is great. Now that the vegetables have gotten a little softer, you can start to add some of your other vegetables. I must tell you all a little secret. The inspiration for this vegetable soup actually came from Rome. When I visited there, I had some of the best vegetable soup I had ever had. So good, in fact, that I asked the chef for the recipe, and he was so gracious to give it to me. So it's awesome to have an opportunity to redo it, but with the Instant Pot. At that point, I added in the tomato sauce. Now that the vegetables were softer, I felt it was time to then add in the tomato sauce. I then decided to add the fire-roasted diced tomatoes to the recipe. I use the fire-roasted because it's some additional flavor, but you can use any diced tomatoes in this recipe. Now, this is when I decided to add my butter beans as well as my kale. Butter beans are so good in vegetable soup and they add some protein that you need. I added the butter beans and then I added the kale. Once I added those two to the base, I then stirred it up. It was at this time, after I stirred up the contents of the soup, I then added in the carrots and the green beans. It's important to note that I added the carrots at the end because carrots are a softer vegetable and the steam would have really got into them. So I decided to add them at the end as well as the green beans because you don't want them to get too soft. I stirred everything up together and it's just, if you look at it, it's such a beautiful, beautiful dish. I then added the Italian seasoning, and that was the point where I added my vegetable broth. I used the entire box of vegetable broth to add it to the recipe. You can also use chicken broth if you so choose, but I wanted to use vegetable broth because I wanted to have this recipe be all vegetables. I then added the onion soup mix. This is a completely optional part of the process, but I like to add onion soup mix because it brings some wonderful flavor to almost anything that you're cooking with vegetables. And so I added it. It also adds a thickening to the soup. For this part of the process, I then set my Instant Pot for 17 minutes and then I would allow it to naturally release. If you're not adding potatoes to the recipe, this is where it would end. But I decided to add potatoes, and because the potatoes are softer, I did this recipe in 2 parts. You'll see that the vegetable soup is pretty much done, but I decided to add potatoes, and because potatoes can cook to where they're really soft and you want them to be firm in your vegetable soup, you add them at the end. I then put my Instant Pot back on with the top and did another 10 minutes with a natural release. After another natural release, the soup is ready to go. You guys, it smelled amazing and it looked amazing. Because I was making the grilled cheese, I put the top back on and kept it on keep warm. Make sure you're subscribed. Windy City _Peach. Okay, friends. Here is my air fryer. I have a Gourmet air fryer, and I will tell you guys, I don't use it too often, but I'll let you check it out and see how I was able to use it for the grilled cheese. There are dials on it that'll give you your time as well as a temperature gauge. And that's what you'll use for the most part to determine how long and for what temperature you'll be cooking. Today, we're going to do the grilled cheese it'll be a total of 20 minutes, but 10 minutes one side and then 10 minutes on the other side. Grilled cheese is probably one of the easiest things you can make. I remember when I was a child, that was one of the first things I learned how to cook on my own. For me, I like to use sourdough bread just because the bread is a little different than your regular light bread. But of course, you can use light bread. I then butter each side with the soft margarine. I chose to use the Colby Jack cheese, but of course, you can use whatever cheese you like to use. After I had placed the sandwiches into the basket of the air fryer, I then set the temperature, the turnstile, to 10 minutes. I wanted to have a chance to flip the sandwiches once they had cooked appropriately on one side. So you'll see when it first comes out that one side looks perfectly done, but once it's flipped, you'll see that the other side needs to be cooked as well. After I flipped the sandwiches, I put them back into the air fryer for another 10 minutes. The cool thing about the air fryer is you can check it while it's cooking and you won't mess up the process. But 10 minutes was just enough time that I needed, and they were all ready to go. There was a ding and they were ready. So I took the grilled cheese sandwiches out. They weren't too hot. I could touch them with my hand, and I then decided to slice them so you could really see how the cheese had melted on the inside of the sandwich. Trust me, guys, this is a grilled cheese sandwich. And now you can enjoy your grilled cheese along with your vegetable soup. Thanks for watching. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel. Make sure you click the subscribe button. Videos will be loaded every Sunday. And what is coming is a special Super Bowl Sunday series. I'm going to give you some perfect snacks using the Instant Pot and the air fryer that you and all your friends will enjoy. Bye.